Hi everybody. In this video, what I did today is I was out riding and I noticed that my bottom bracket was becoming a little bit loose. If you listen, you can tell in there how the bearing is moving a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that apart and grease it and reset it. And there's a couple of special tools that we're going to be using on this, so I'll show you those tools as we get along. The first thing I'm going to do is remove this bottle cage, and then I'll also take the front derailleur and loosen that up and just move it up a little bit. And the reason for that is I want to be able to get that chain off of there so that I can pull both sides of the crank off. Okay, so let's get started. One thing that I really like about a good set of Allen wrenches is you notice that these have a little bit rounded tip on them. That allows you to go in at an angle. Most Allen wrenches you have to be pretty much straight on in order to use them, but this tip really helps out to get you in a position where you can get in there at an angle and still get a bolt. So it's very handy to have that. Okay, I've got the bottle cage out of the way, and I've got this front derailleur loosened up, and the chain is now off of the sprocket. So that'll make it a lot easier to remove these cranks now and to really get to work on them. So next I'm going to take out the crank bolts and show you how to break these arms away from the bottom bracket. With that bolt out of the way, now comes the special tool. And what this does is this screws into the crank arm, and then as you get it seated in there, then you tighten up the other end until the rod extends enough to pull that arm away from the bottom bracket. It's a really effective tool, and it's a really kind of a must-have. Otherwise, I've seen people trying to pry from back here to get these arms off, and that's really not effective. And you can damage your frame or damage the crank. So be careful with that. Get the right tool. And with the right tool, those come off pretty easy. Just doing a quick inspection now that I have these off. I'll probably clean this up a little bit before I put it back on, although I'm not really known for my impeccable cleanliness. So I'll probably clean them up a little bit. But those are out of the way. The next thing is to start disassembling this bottom bracket. And as you can see, there's another specialized tool needed there. And I'll see if this is the correct one that I picked out first, and it is. This is an excellent tool to have. You can see that you've got all those splines that fit directly into that bottom bracket there. And then you can put a 3/8" socket on the end of that, or use a large wrench, either one, and then just be able to remove that ring and take this thing apart. Now the bearings on this are sealed, so I won't have to worry about bearings falling all over the place. In some cases, some bottom brackets you do, but in this one that I bought, I forget which one this is, but when I have it out I'll take a look and tell you what brand it is. But it does have, it's sealed, it has a rubber seal on the inside there to keep out muck and water and stuff. And it's just making a little bit of noise, a little loose, so it needs some maintenance anyway. It's a good coat of grease is going to really help it out. So here we go. Okay, with the bottom bracket removed, I discovered one thing that I said during disassembly is this was a sealed unit, so I'm going to have to work on it to see what kind of maintenance I can get out of it, or I might just have to replace it. We'll see shortly. This is a Race Face Prodigy ISIS drive bottom bracket, and a couple of neat things about it is it is marked left and right. You can see that on there, and so what that means is that of course the right side would face towards the chain rings, and the left side away from the chain rings, and the right side has right-handed threads on it, so you want to make sure that you get those, when you're trying to loosen that, make sure you don't do it the conventional left-handed threads method and try to, you'll end up stripping it. So those are right-handed threads. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to service this by removing this seal here and see what I can find underneath. Otherwise I'll probably just buy a new one. And I was looking at the new ceramic bottom brackets recently anyway, so I might go ahead and go with those. So we'll see. Well, it turned out that I could not service this bottom bracket because of the fact that it's sealed bearings. I couldn't take it apart. So what I did was I got some dry lube in there, and I think I'll make it, I'll put it back together and let it ride for another week or so and get one of those nice ceramic bottom brackets on order. The ceramic means that it has ceramic ball bearings, and those are supposed to be something like 5 times stronger than chrome steel bearings. So you know, lighter, more trouble-free, longer lasting, quieter, all those things. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and move to that. So I'm going to put this back together and put this up for the day. Thanks.